Yeah, hi, Joe Behead here, and Joe Bongiovanni from the Kettle Pond Institute, and I'm making a video to try to have a little conversation with Truth Acts about some of the stuff that I've posted here on the video with Dr. Kaoru Yamaguchi on his review of the debt money system, and I switched to non-debt money. And my purpose is, quite frankly, to see if we can at least arrive at some kind of an understanding for moving forward and having an intelligent conversation about this. And what do I mean by that? Um, Generally, I would think that we would both be of the opinion that the system is broken and we need to do something else besides what we're doing right now. And Dr. Yamaguchi's is a proposal to do something different from what we're doing right now, and and Truth Acts, sees it as a complete waste of time, and I guess maybe even something that's being proposed by somebody that doesn't understand anything about money and banking and credit, and, etc. So. What I was trying to draw out of, kind of asking my questions of whether, for instance, you're an Austrian, is to get beyond the only it's a criticism, because what we want to do I think, in our analysis is to compare things, If fractional reserve banking don't work, there's something wrong with fractional reserve banking, and there's a large agreement, even among libertarian, type thinkers, that fractional reserve banking is broken. Then we're going to replace it with something, and what are we going to replace it with? And that's why Dr. Yamaguchi's work is important, because he says if we decide to replace it with this, and this being the three basic structural reforms that are in the American Monetary Act, then we can have these kinds of results from that, okay? And to me, again, if you pay attention to the video, what Dr. Yamaguchi is saying is that our hope is that if people come to really understand what it is that we've written here, that this will become the benchmark against which other proposals are measured, or against which we can measure other proposals, I should say. This is our benchmark. Everybody knows that we at Kettle Pond Institute are advocating the proposals of the American Monetary Act that have been developed by Dr. Stephen Zarlanga at the American Monetary Institute. And, I do so not because, I was educated by Stephen Zarlanga, but because his proposals were in keeping with my education about monetary reform, okay? That is to say, he took the Chicago plan, which I had been familiar with and which I had thought was, a great proposal, taking a look at how it was entered into the Act, the Monetary Reform Act, the Monetary Control Act of 1934, and he took that to another step. That is to say, he brought it up to date in terms of its Dr. Zarlanga did, Stephen Zarlanga did, in terms of its how it would function in terms of moving to full reserves and the creation of money and the transformation, if you will, of the existing debt, government debt. So that's my purpose in laying out a monetary reform proposal, is to say, here's the proposal. Now, what are the criticisms really? When you try to get past the rhetoric of Truth Acts, I'm going to say not too many. Primarily they are political in nature. That is to say that these reforms are socialistic. To which I say, well, if they really were socialistic, they wouldn't be supported by Milton Friedman. And if you just want to yourself Google Milton Friedman's A Fiscal and Monetary Framework for Economic Stability, in there you will see that he proposes in an exact, replication of the Chicago Plan for Monetary Reform. And he does it for the purpose of saving capitalism. And he's very clear about the distinction between the governmental function and the private function. And that, by the way, is what you need to be clear about. And what we need to be clear about in terms of going forward. Because obviously I see the provision of the national circulating medium, the money system of the country, is a governmental function. That's what I think we want to have a debate about. Okay? And having said that, all the other, all actually of the other proposals that we advocate that have been, historically developed, also are, done for the purpose of saving capitalism, also done for the purpose of restoring financial stability, economic stability, which is what we are obviously all about at the economic stability website, as was my dad with his Center for Economic Stability as a place from which to discuss monetary reform. So it's not socialism. There's no, I forget how you put it, some group of bureaucrats that decides what everybody gets and how much of it, Zero of that. There's zero of that. Now, if you're one of those people who thinks that, well, we need to just do away with government, well, let's just come out and have that discussion first. Yeah, we need to do away with government. No, we don't, okay? Because to me, this is about civics. This is about civics. This is about a people who have obtained, by right of being a nation, the right to control their money system. You only have one money system in a national economy, a national monetary system, a national system of money. That's what I believe. I go by the history of monetary systems of Alexander Delmar, about how money evolved and how monetary systems evolved, and I'm a believer in that evolution. And you pointed me to Google books and readings of the late 1800s, and I'm aware of the monetary. If you read Zarlanga's book, then you're aware of the monetary commissions of the 1800s, monetary commissions of the 1900s, and you're aware of the writings of the people who were on both sides of any consideration of any kind of action. So I'm familiar with them. So this is what I want to say. Okay, let's have this discussion about whether or not, because I think this is where you're at. Okay, whether or not it's the proper role of government to provide a national monetary system, a national system of money, or whether you think it ought to be, we ought to go back to kind of the wildcat banking part, but at least back to the part of private individuals being able to create whatever they want as money and to serve as money and to, I guess, pay their taxes with it. I don't know, and why that's a good idea or why that's not a good idea. Because to me, yeah, we are a collective. A nation is a collective, okay? A nation is something that by agreement, okay, we're going to have these rights and these responsibilities. That includes the ability to make contracts. So, founded on law, we're a nation, we're a collective. And as such, we want to propose collective solutions. Okay, we want to propose solutions that work for everybody, not just the few, not just the advantaged. Okay? And we should talk about why one of these systems works better than the other. There's no socialism here. All the government does is determine the amount of money that's created. And that's to promote economic stability, to keep everybody's stable buying power in place. Beyond that, there isn't any. There's none. I've tried to say that. So I'd appreciate a reply back, a video reply, I hope. And if not, just